Jared. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Sanbonani Dumelang Kuinan. I hope everybody is prepared to be to engage, and in this particular session, guys, I would urge you to stop me if you feel there is a question that you want to ask. Do not hesitate. Even if it's in your own language, I'll try and respond. Yes, Max is quite right. But if you feel there is a need for you to ask a question, please feel free to drop it on our WhatsApp group. We should be able to respond to your questions. I hope everybody is good, and kicking off 2024 on a high note. We're hardly going to be focusing right now on the basic level of planning, and also how to structure yourself as we go along on a low level of the entry level, the beginners level of wheelchair basketball. So basically, in this section, we're looking at structuring and planning practice for beginners. Okay, wheelchair basketball players. It requires like a very, very careful consideration for their skill level. Basically, we're looking at physical abilities and learning objectives. It's a broader scheme of here, because we all know that there's new kids,
Bounce the ball at waist level and gradually increase the height to as high as you can without lifting out of your chair. Then gradually bounce the ball lower to the court until you are close to the floor as possible. Being able to control the basketball is very important to dribbling. So let's begin with some drills that will improve your coordination and manipulation skills. Here we have Paul and Josh to demonstrate. First is the drop and catch. Hold the ball on the side of your chair with both hands. All you have to do now is drop and catch the ball as it bounces back up. Now try it with one hand. Do the same thing, but only use one hand to drop and catch the ball. Practice with both hands. Ball taps. Toss the ball between your hands using the padded parts of your fingers to control the ball. Continue tapping the ball at a steady pace so the ball is not stopping. Start by tapping at eye level, but gradually increase the height to above your head. You can also tap on one side of your body to improve your control. Stationary steady dribble. Dribble on one side of your chair with one hand at a steady pace, about waist high. Try to keep your head up so you don't have your eyes on the ball, and practice with both hands. Stationary up and downs. Begin by dribbling the ball on the side of your chair, just like in the steady dribble drill. Bounce the ball at waist level and gradually increase the height to as high as you can without lifting out of your chair. Then gradually bounce the ball lower to the court until you are close to the floor as possible. Stationary kills. Dribble at waist level at a steady pace, then suddenly kill the ball by dribbling it as low to the court as possible. After a few seconds, bring the ball back to waist level. Standard dribble. This drill involves dribbling while your chair is moving. In order to keep control of the ball, you'll need to put some backspin on it. Before pushing your wheels, place the ball in your lap. Now give your chair 2 pushes forwards. You have to dribble after 2 pushes to avoid a traveling violation, so take the ball out of your lap and toss it in front of you. Remember to put some backspin on it. Continue pushing twice and dribbling until you get the hang of it. Once you feel comfortable, you can try dribbling with one hand on the side of your chair. Focus on increasing your speed and control while dribbling. Loose ball pickup. Place the ball a few feet in front of your chair. Push your chair and approach the ball from one side. When you reach the ball, lean down and press it against your wheel and allow your forward motion to lift the ball off the ground and towards your lap. Bounce stop. Push your chair forwards as you dribble with your dominant hand. When you are ready to stop, slam the ball so it bounces high enough to give you time to use both your hands to stop your chair. Once you stop, catch the ball before it hits the ground and continue dribbling. Bounce spin. Dribble in place with one hand. While dribbling, Quickly spin your chair 180 degrees by pushing your wheels in opposite directions. You can also practice this with your chair in motion, as Josh demonstrates here. Josh is a more experienced player, so expect to see results like his after a lot of practice. Creating an obstacle course is a good way to practice all the dribbling skills. Set up some cones in a zigzag pattern. At first, just dribble through the cones, focusing on not traveling. You can then add bounce stops, kills, and bounce spins at each cone. Try to increase your speed each time while decreasing your mistakes.
Sipa, before we move to the next video, there's a question from Marinda.
Hello, Merinda. Yes, Merinda.
I'm so sorry. I don't want to be
No
that
worries.
student, but I just want to ask. Uh, I'm very excited about this. I just want to ask
Awesome.
something, and I don't know if I maybe did wrong. When I start with the children, they're usually very scared of the basketball. So I start with beach balls, and then later go on to those big tennis balls, and then onwards to the basketballs. Or would you say start immediately with the basketballs?
Marina, I think there's different sizes of the basketballs, and ideally, I'll say use probably the size 6 basketballs. Let them feel the texture of the ball. Okay, obviously the lines and the lines that are actually on a basketball are designed for specific reasons. So yes, it's always nice to have them have a feel of the ball, but not necessarily basketball. But I would say get them straight into getting used to use the basketball, because the texture and the grooves that are actually found on the ball, they're very specific for certain reasons. So my advice would be go straight.
Right.
They will eventually get used to it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Awesome. I'm also excited too, Marina. Okay, that's Patrick Anderson, guys. Obviously, one of the best players we have in the world, seen in the world. So, as we said earlier on, these guys have all mastered this, but we really need, the players to get to this stage whereby they are able to bounce their ball and they're not looking at the ball. They look at the heads is up and just using the hands and the fingers basically to just tapping the ball. So he's actually giving a countdown there.
90. 100. Let's go left. Ready? Set. Go. 25. 50. 75. 90. 100.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the next slide. We're looking at passing. So guys, we've got main coaches here, Ellen Tatase. You will actually this is like a video he did in about 4 years ago on passing. So basically for new kids coming up, you gotta drill them as to how they would have to learn to pass the ball. Basically open up their hands, stretching their arms out, and using the bounce pass, chest pass, overhead pass from the beginning. As they grow into the sport, they will actually start mastering those passing. But you gotta have to teach them how to do the bounce pass. They have to learn how to do the chest pass, and then obviously the overhead pass. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hi, good day. I'm Alan Tatase, one of the South African national wheelchair basketball coaches. Today, we're going to talk about passing. The first pass we're going to talk about is chest pass. Chest pass is the most fundamental pass in wheelchair basketball. Chest pass is the pass you want to pass to your fellow player, like giving the ball straight to him as quick as possible for the opposition not to intercept the pass. And you got to make sure that your pass is hard, straight, so that he can get a firm pass and grip on that ball. Our second pass that we use is the bounce pass. The bounce pass we use to get the ball quicker to our teammate in order for us to avoid the tall guy to get to the ball. In wheelchair basketball, you get like high pointers, and for high pointers, it's very difficult to get down low to the ground to get to the ball. So that's the most suitable time to use a bounce pass. Another pass that we also use in wheelchair basketball is the baseball pass. Now with the baseball pass, it's self-explanatory. It's the same technique you use when you play baseball. It's easier for a high pointer to pass the ball from one end to the other end of the floor. And the ball can reach quicker, faster, and harder to his fellow teammate. And that's how we do the baseball pass. The following pass we're going to talk about is the lob pass. There are two folds of lob passes. The one lob you would want to pass into the paint to the big guy closest to the ring to have an easier shot. The other lob pass you would use to pass the ball across the paint to your other teammate. Watch our stars doing the fundamental of passing in the Supersport Wheelchair Basketball Series.
Awesome. All right, so guys, before we head on to shooting, so very important once again, from early stage of development, that we put a lot of emphasis that the guys get the skills right. And I'm sure some of you may just get bored with this with this particular sort of sessions, but we feel there is a massive lack, where people are unable to do overhead pass, chest passes, and when to do that. So from the beginning, guys, please help us out. Make sure that these youngsters actually learn this at the at the development stage. Now we're gonna go into shooting, and we have what you call birth, which is mainly speak to you, that's basically the process of shooting. So we spoke about the process earlier on. So we're looking at beef, which whereby we talk about beef. We talk about balance. The next E is for elbow, and the second E is for eyes, and then obviously the F is for follow through. So that will be also be elaborated and be clarified by Coach Ellen. Sorry, Coach Eric.
Hello, I'm Ellen Mtatase, one of South African wheelchair basketball national coaches. We're going to talk about shooting techniques. There are different types of shootings for the different types of classes. With the low classifications, they will first need to establish their range in order for them to take the shot. While as for the higher classifications, they will establish themselves into the paint to take the shot, or in the case where they miss the shot, for them to be able to collect their own rebound. The technique we use in wheelchair basketball to release the ball on a shot, for the low class classification, the ball will start like from the left upwards. And normally on a layup situation, we will attack the key from a 45-degree angle. On receipt of the ball, the shooter will make sure that the seams of the line are parallel in his hands. He will then make sure that his knees and elbow are in parallel to each other before he's going to release the shot. And as he releases the shot, his shooting point will be normally above his eyebrow. He will then make sure that his knee and his elbow are in a straight line with each other. He will move in a straight position, focusing on his shooting point. releasing his shot, and follow through. I have explained the right technique of shooting, whereas though some low pointers will shoot underarm because of the weaker upper body strength. That is what you will see in the Supersport Wheelchair Basketball Series.
Awesome, thanks, Jerry.
Hey guys, Steve Serio here, co-captain of the men's wheelchair basketball team for Team USA, two-time Paralympic medalist and Team CAF athlete since 2016. And today I want to go over form shooting. Now the best part about working on your form shooting is the fact that you can literally do it anywhere. As you guys can see, I'm in the gym in my basketball chair, but you can do this drill sitting on the couch or even laying in your bed. So when you work on your form shooting, I always want you to think of the acronym BEEF, and that stands for balance, eyes, elbow, and follow through. And we'll take it step by step. So the first part about correct form shooting is balance. And for wheelchair users, that means making sure that you're stable in your wheelchair, making sure that your chair isn't turned too far to the left or the right, and making sure that your shoulders are in line with the basket, more specifically your shooting shoulder. So for me, I feel most balanced when I'm stable in my wheelchair, sitting upright, turned a little bit to the left to make sure that my right shoulder, my shooting shoulder, is in line with the basket. Next is eyes. You always want to make sure that you're looking up at the basket. Now this could be different for every athlete, but I tend to look at the front of the rim. But again, when you're shooting, make sure that you do everything that's comfortable for you. Next is elbow. Make sure that your elbow is always in a straight line with the basket and under the basketball. You don't want your elbow to be too far out or too far in, because then the ball won't travel in the direction that you want it to. And lastly, at the top of your shooting motion, you always want to make sure that you're following through, creating that good rotation on the basketball, making sure that it lands softly on the rim. So putting it all together, it looks something like this. I'm balanced, my eyes are looking up at the basket, my elbow is under the basketball in line with the basket, and I'm following through, creating that nice rotation. So all together it looks like this. And that's form shooting. I hope this helps you guys. Keep working hard, keep shooting, and I'll see you next time.
Awesome, Jay.
Form, we want to refine your technique. A really simple way to remember the key points is through the word BEEF. BEEF stands for balance, eyes, elbow, follow through. First is balance. There are two types of balance. The ball's balance on your hand and your balance in the wheelchair. First, take the ball and place it in your lap. Put your shooting hand on the ball with your fingers across the seams with the inflation hole in between your index finger and your middle finger. Now, lift the ball up to your shooting position. The ball should rest on your finger pads. There should be a slight space between the heel of your hand and the ball. The space between your index finger and your thumb should make the letter J. Now you have a nice stable position for the ball to rest on as you shoot. Next is your balance in the wheelchair. You need to have a good foundation from which to shoot. For higher class players like Jana, the player on your right, you should have good posture. Jana has a nice straight back and keeps her back straight when she shoots, only extending straight up as she shoots. Emily, the player on your left, is a Class 1 player. In order to get her balance, she leans back into her backrest and maintains contact with her backrest the entire time she is shooting. Remember, balance of the ball on your hand and your balance sitting in the wheelchair. Next is eyes. Your eyes are up on your target before you start your shot. Your eyes need to have a target, and that target needs to be small and specific. Whether you look at the back of the rim or the front, you need to look at a small part of the rim. We usually use the front of the rim. Whichever you use, remember to have a small target. You're going to need a target for your follow-through, and the smaller your target, the less your follow-through will wander or drift. The second E is for elbow. Your elbow is under your hand comfortably and follows your hand straight up as you shoot. Your elbow should finish above your eye as you release the ball. Last is your follow-through. Your follow-through should be high with your elbow above your eye. Your hand should finish with your index finger pointing at your target, the front of the rim. Your hand is soft and waves slightly at the ball as it leaves your hand, making another letter J. Leave your follow-through up high until the ball goes through the net. Let's review beef. Balance, eyes, elbow, follow through. There are some specific points to add when taking certain shots. For layups, all the fundamentals remain the same with these added key points: angle, control, and target. Make sure you take a good angle, have control of your wheelchair, and don't take any extra pushes below the free throw line unless absolutely necessary. Start learning how to use the backboard. Your target now is the top corner of the box on the backboard on the side you are shooting from, and learn to shoot with either hand. For scoop layups or underhanded layups, you still leave your follow through up high with your index finger pointing at the target. Again, your target is the top corner of the box on the backboard on the side you are shooting from. For players of lower classification, you can use your offhand to maintain your balance as you shoot. For free throws, again, all the fundamentals are the same with the added key points: take your time, be consistent. First, remember beef. Now before you get the ball, take your time to get set with your rear wheels behind the free throw line. Make sure you have the exact same free throw routine each time. Agree
Thank you, Smith.
to choose.
Okay. Guys, it's the basic fundamentals that we really want to put emphasis on, and we just want to make sure that especially with the youngsters, everybody wants to throw the ball, and they want to score. So in order to actually encourage them, try and bring them closer to their basketball hoop, let them settle down, and especially when it comes to shooting, bring them closer to the basketball hoop, let them actually start using the same techniques, but do not rush them to perfection. Let it be, there's repetitions, and until they get it right, then you can start pushing them further out and try and get the distance right. But the form should never change at no point. So please put into their heads, and also you guys as coaches, make sure that you sustain and you maintain that the form of shooting doesn't change, even with the passing as well. Alrighty. Okay. So we're gonna go into the defensive drills and tactics and techniques.
Next thing we're going to work on are shadow drills. 1-on-1 to start, later on we'll go to 2-on-2. The key to shadow drills is, one, starting at a flat line or a zero position on the person you're defending. The next thing is understanding who you're defending. So now Justin is defending Jeff Glassbrenner. Now Jeff is one of the fastest players in the country. I don't know how fast you are. You think you can go one-on-one with him?
I'm fast. I don't know if I'm that fast.
All right, so what we'll find out in this first shadow drill is position. The next part of the shadow drill is how you turn. If Jeff turns this way, stop. Notice how Justin has already started to make a turn outside. What we don't want to see Justin doing is turning towards him. At no point during the shadow drill do you want to turn towards the person you're defending. You always want to turn towards the basket you're protecting. You want to make sure that you push in front of Jeff so that you don't commit a foul. And if Jeff starts to beat him, that you retreat to a position on the floor and regain position.
I adjusted, 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 I adjusted.
Perfect. The next drill we're going to work on is 2-on-2 shadow. Earlier we showed one-on-one shadow.
Thank Jerry.
And with this, the drill is just
Okay, it's too long, 7 minutes. Let's move to the next one.
Defense starts with one-on-one defense. The keys are retreat, read, readjust.
I got ready. I got ready. Got ready. Got ready. Got one. Got ready. Got ready. Got ready. Got ready. Got ready. Going up. Got ready. 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 Got ready.
Just make sure
Start
guys are
from the
focused
zero
on the chair
position.
positioning.
That is one chair length away from the offense and with your chair at 90 degrees. Now the defense will retreat, read, and readjust. As the offense makes her first move, the defense retreats towards the basket she is defending. You can retreat by going backwards or by using a quarter turn away from the player you are guarding. Watch the defense use quarter turns to retreat and readjust. The defender has read where the offense is going. She has readjusted her chair, establishing wheel position to stop the offense. Generally speaking, wheel position means the defense having her rear axle in front of the front caster of the offense. The defense should not turn into the offense. The defense should push straight, forcing the offense to initiate contact. And the defense is always checking her shoulders to see the whole court. Finally, the defender calls out the number of the person she is guarding.
I got ready. I got ready. Got ready. Got ready. Got one. Got ready. Got ready. Got ready. Got ready. Got ready. Going up. Got ready. 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 Got ready.
Brilliant. Okay, guys. So thanks, Jerry. So with that defensive drills, be conscious of the chair positioning and how well they use their back wheels, the big wheels, and also the talking on court. You know, I mean, they keep on calling either the person's number, jersey number that they're wearing, or the person's name, so that your other teammates are aware that you've got your man, you've got your player, and you're doing your job on one side, and then you should do the job on the other side. So there's communication very crucial as well. And understand that these videos as well are available for you guys. The links are available. We can always share the links with you, and therefore you can also share with your players. You know, you can demonstrate, especially to your players, but also show them, you know, share the video so they can see themselves. Okay. All right. So we move on. As we move on, is there any question thus far? Okay. We've got a very unique group this time. You guys are just, we want interaction, guys. Ask us questions. All right. Okay. So we move on. Yes. And I thought somebody else was going to ask a question.
Carry on, carry on.
Oh, okay. All right. So basically, it's very, very important that, you know, when you're doing these trainings, you break it down into smaller components and demonstrations. And the reason for this, you don't want to bore the players. And also, as Mesh touched on earlier on, that sometimes you gotta analyze and assess, the players' weaknesses and strength. And then sometimes it's important that you actually look into the players' weaknesses and strengths. So the techniques that you're operating and you just putting in are unique to the team sort of ethics. So your technique and everything has got to be broken down into components, and therefore it becomes easier and the players don't get bored. And it's very specific to each individual sometimes, or maybe into the team's ethical or approach. Use the drills that emphasize proper body positioning and wheelchair controls and coordination. So as I said earlier on, every drill that you do, make sure that it's actually in a game-like situation. As you have seen in the other videos as well, like when we did the defense, that's how you defend in a game. So the drills that you apply, the drills that you put in, has got to be in a game situation. So how do you control your tail? How do you hold on? How do you hold your wheels? Like you have your thumb on top of the tire, and then the fingers on your on the rim, and then you just make sure that there's always chair positioning and every time when you're doing defense. So let it be real. Let it be like game situation. Can you move on? Okay. Individual skills stations. So there are several situations on courts. Each focus on different skills or aspects of the game. Rotate players through stations. Spending, I do not know whether I gave you the video on this one. Spending few minutes on each on one practice specifics. Situation could include shooting practice, passing drills, defense, chess skills, and exercises and ball handling drills. So basically, in this particular situation, like for about 15 to 20 minutes, have stations on court, like you put your cones all around court. Whether you're doing spill drills, you're doing agility drills, but just make sure that you have stations that would focus on a specific drill, on a specific exercise, and that those specific exercises are, once again, going back to what I said, have to be in a game-like situation. So always use the entire court, whether they're doing pivoting, whether they're doing clovers, whether they do four corners, but always spend certain minutes and on court in order to fulfill that particular station. Maybe 5 minutes on one station, 2 minutes on one station, and move into the next station. That will focus on a certain drill. We can be like for the national team, we used to have another session whereby, or another station whereby we do push-ups. So players need to be strong enough that they will know how to lift themselves up from the floor, by basically pushing, getting their arms and shoulders strong, pushing off the floor and getting back into their chest if they fall. So stations are crucial. Have cones specifically for certain situations. You could be doing your skills, you could be doing your agility, and you could be doing your power drills. So it's important to do that even on shootings. Okay. All right. So so the concept and strategies. Okay. Introduce basic team concepts, strategies such as offense, offense spacing, defense positioning, and teamwork. So here it put a lot of emphasis on your team strengths and weaknesses. So what are your goals? What are you looking to achieve as a team? What are the individual skills that you look to achieve for individuals in your team? So the concept, like as a coach, you've got to have an approach whereby you say, how I'm going to actually tackle, what type of game I'm going to be playing. Am I going to be playing a man-to-man defense? Am I going to be playing a zone defense? Is it going to be fast on offense? Am I going to be fast on offense? I'm going to be slow on offense. How do I pick? So the concept and strategies defines by the virtue of the strength of your team, the weaknesses that you have identified within your team, and the strength that you have identified in the team. So by simply going across to the other clip on the side, use a simple drill, a smaller side game, reinforcing on concept. Example, practice moving balls around perimeters to increase scoring opportunities or work on defensive rotation. So it's very, very important that you look at what is your plan, what is your approach, and what do you want to achieve. So basically the concept is like identifying the strength of your team. So sometimes you'll find that certain coaches, they want to actually play a full pace game, and your game, your approach, your training sessions has got to revolve around that as well. So sometimes you want to actually play a slow game whereby you actually set up traps on court on the oppositions and identify their weaknesses as well, and then you capitalize on their weaknesses. So your defensive rotations also have got to differ as to how you approach the game. So, Jerry. Okay. All right. So okay, divide. So basically, you have to divide your players into. Okay, let me just read it out. Divide the players into teams and allow them to apply skills and concepts they've learned in a controlled scrimmages. So basically, while you're actually working on your practice sessions, you're gonna have to divide your players, make sure that you balance it on court, and you're doing scrimmages. And those scrimmages have it would give you an indication as to the strength of your team. So the strength of the individual strength of the players as well. So you need to make sure that you divide them and make sure that they understand what is the concept, what are you in your intention as a coach, what do you want to actually achieve. So you're also looking to encourage the players. Okay, by encouraging the players, you earlier on you saw that one drill on defense where they keep on talking and communicating. So it's very, very important that once the players are on court and they start talking, they start communicating, and then in that manner they're actually helping your teammate in order to know and understand what one is doing on the other side. So because at all times the game is so fast and so quick, if there's a pick coming, but if the players do not communicate and the players do not use their head to look over their shoulder, seeing what's happening on the side, it's going to impact the end results. So it's very, very crucial that you actually encourage communication on court. Feedback, very, very crucial in a game situation. Sometimes the players, let's say now you give an instruction and the players doesn't understand the instruction, and maybe also because of time on court, you're very limited in order to give the instruction clear. So after each and every training session, give it some time. Let it be an engagement between you and the team, where the players, you have to explain them the scrimmage and what they were supposed to do, like how they were supposed to pick, how they were supposed to go on transition, how they were supposed to shoot. So it's important that you give feedback. That will also help encouraging the players, and the players will actually react positively because they can start engaging with you and then identifying their mistakes. So it's very, very important that you give feedback at all time. Okay. Any questions thus far? Okay. So earlier on, we also spoke about warming up. Now we're talking about cooling down, and basically, as Max indicated earlier on, so we're looking at from top to a high speed sort of activity to the low speed activity. Why do we do that? Okay, there are many reasons why we have to actually have cool down, because remember, now the body is all heated up. They've just been in a game, a very, very intense game. They need to cool down. So you need the muscles to relax, and that will also eliminate or maybe reduce risk to pick up injuries, and and reduce the heart, sort of bring the heart rate down. So you start by getting them to go up on court, up and down, and then just to make sure that they're starting high, and then slowly decrease the level of chair movement on court, and then we can actually get them to stop and then start stretching again. So you cannot, we cannot leave the court if the players haven't done so. So that's why sometimes it's better to have the physiotherapist there that will actually look after this. It's always ideal. But you as a coach as well, you need to understand the value of cooling down, because really give it 10 to 15 minutes, let the players start, let the body regroup, let the lactates actually come down, and make sure that the risk of pickup injuries are smaller. Okay, next one. Okay, once again, I spoke about review and feedback. Gathering players together to review a practice session and provide feedback. It's very important. We cannot give it about 5 to 10 minutes. It's a quick one whereby you allowing players to ask questions, and you allowing yourself to actually give back as to how you've seen the game, how you've seen the practice session, and also they can ask questions. In that way, they will feel more comfortable because during the game, probably during the practice session, you didn't have time once again to say what you wanted to say. There's an opportunity whereby you're gonna have to give back to the players. Let's also encourage the players to ask questions and share their thoughts and suggestions for improvement. So opportunities, once again, engagement, because the coach and the player have got to be in that same level of thinking and same level of understanding, and what are the objectives, because really you cannot go through the whole practice session if one player it doesn't understand what they were supposed to achieve and what was the objective. So it helps in order to build for the future. It helps to also build build towards the games that are going to be probably happening in the next couple of months. So have that engagement, make sure that there is an understanding. Next one, Jerry. Oh, okay. In summary, okay, throughout the practice, it's essential that you maintain a positive and supportive atmosphere. So it's very important that you make sure that there's always that understanding, there's always that willingness to be at practice, and the guys are ready to come in and do the same the next day and the day after. So it's very, very important that you always bring new ideas into your practice sessions, new form of approach. And once again, once you know as a coach how you want to approach the season, and you know what will be your concept, you want to play high, you want to play slow, and the team has actually have got an understanding, the buy-ins, the players have got the buy-ins. It's crucial that you sustain and maintain a very positive atmosphere within your team. Adjust the intensity and complexity of the drills and activities based on the skill level of physical capabilities of the players, and always prioritize the safety and enjoyment. So basically, once again, understand your players. What are they capable of? Are they ready for certain drills? Are they not ready for certain drills? Are they physically strong for certain drills? Are they not? Are they capable of doing this? Are they not? So you adjust to that in order to see progress. And obviously, now and again, you have to do that evaluation. And we also spoke earlier on and mentioned earlier on that sometimes it's better to have each individual's fire, each individual's players so performances. So make sure that you have all of that, because today you have given a player a 6 minutes, let's just go with a 10 minutes drill, warm-up drill. Okay, there's corner to corner 12 minutes drill. The 12 minutes drill, the player did it in 20 done 20 layups, 20 rotation in 12 minutes. Probably tomorrow the players will do 25, because it becomes more stronger and is improving. So you can show the player stats, say from here today on the 12 minutes drill, this is what you have done. You did yesterday, you did 20 minutes, and then tomorrow you did 25 minutes, there is improvement. Once again, it's feedback. And obviously we spoke about safety and enjoyment. So players must enjoy themselves on court. Make sure that there are no hazards on court. Make sure that it's always clear on court. So it's very important that you actually give that feedback and maintain, enjoyment on court. Thank you so much, guys. Unless
Thank you
there are
very
questions.
much. Thank you very much, Sipa. Excellent presentation. I'm sure everybody's learned a lot. And let's kick it off with a question from Marinda.
Thank you.
Oh my word, I feel so stupid to ask, but
Not at all,
so
Melinda. Not at
sorry.
all. Not at
I
all.
just want to go. Just want to go back to the defending.
Correct.
Is the rule of thumb that it's 45-degree defending all the time?
Yeah.
What you know that with a so doesn't matter what type of pointer, if it's low pointer, high pointer, and also in the key when the offender is going to shoot, is it still, or does it change? Do I make myself sense?
Okay. You said the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, when you defend, it's very, very important that your chair positioning.
Yeah.
Okay, it is correct. So we always advise the players when they're defending, they're sort of using the back of the big wheel.
Defense
and
starts with.
All right, just the moment that Jerry. Okay, so that ideally, the rule of thumb is I was actually touching on is like your thumbs must be on the tires and the fingers must be on the wheels at all times. The grip and the turns are becoming easier and quicker. The power of forward movement is become stronger. So, but the crucial one is how you position your chair. So whenever you're defending, you just have to read and react. You read as to what the offense is giving you, and you just maintain the back wheel contact at all times. Can you just run that one, Jerry? Maybe for the
defense starts with one-on-one defense. The keys are retreat, read, readjust.
Correct.
I got ready.
Okay.
Ready.
Can you see there?
Get ready.
Stop there, Jerry. Stop. Pause. Okay. There. All right. So every time now, the lady in orange, she's always like sort of on the 45 degree as she defends, and it's almost like facing her own basket. Why are you doing so? It's like what it's like what you do, like the peeking. I'm sure you must have gone to the mall and you have your daughter and your son walking in front of you, but you're going the same direction, but she keeps on walking in front. They keep on walking in front of you. They're stopping you. So I always associate the defense like with the little kids coming on your way in front of you as you want to move forward. So basically, it's like you maintain the back wheel contact at all times, and if you cannot be flat, because if you actually become flat, they will hook you on the side and you won't be able to move forward. So it's a question of you always using the back wheel, but your thumbs and the fingers wrapped up on your pull string, your thumb is always on the tire and you keep on moving. Just like, can run it again, Jerry. Okay, Marinda, you see there, and then she's adjusting. There, one, adjust, stop, and then adjust, stop, and adjust. She's looking and she's moving, shoulder check. But remember, before she adjusts, she's doing a shoulder check. She's not changing the chair position, but she's checking over and seeing where the opposition is going before she moves.
No, thanks. So there's no other way. You would never face the defender.
As the offense makes her
It wouldn't be ideal, because if you're facing the defender, I'll try and find one. But if you're facing the defender, crash bar to bar, the front crash bar. Therefore, you're basically giving. Okay, just a moment there, Jerry. Stop. So if you're facing the defender, you're actually giving them bigger angles to attack you, because you're straight on. So the defender can actually go on in any direction, either right or left. But if you're positioning the way she's positioned right now, the only option she's giving the lady in white is you're going to go on the right hand side, basically on the other side of the court, unless she wants to roll back and then adjust to come on the left hand side. So you're reducing the angles of attack if you're in this particular position. So never encourage the players to defend face to face. Always use the back wheel, and the back wheel must be between the big wheel, the big wheel of the white and the small casters there. Can you see there? If you look at that, yeah. So the big wheel, the orange big wheel, the right. Yes, thanks, Jerry. Thank you so much. Yeah. So always must actually stop them there, because the only way now this white lady can move, can either go back or maybe and spin around and to come in. By that time, you're actually eating up seconds as well, because they've got like sort of 8 seconds to get over the halfway court. Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you. Now I'm going to be quiet.
No. It's better. It's better if you ask questions, and we'd really and truly appreciate this. Like what we said, like what you said yesterday, if you ask a question, we're probably helping somebody else that was also thinking of something, maybe shy to actually ask questions.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I think it's been a great session from both Coach Max and Coach Sipamandla. Thank you guys for the time and the effort of getting all of this information. Again, I will share this recording as well as the presentations in the 6 languages I have translated it into. Unfortunately, some of the other languages I haven't got access to. But in the meantime,
good job on that, Jerry. Good job on that, man.
No problem. And just on that, those translations obviously are coming out of an AI tool, so sometimes the wording might not be exactly correct. So if you do pick up serious translation issues, just let me know what the correct changes, and I'll obviously update that. But yes, if there's no further questions, we can call tonight's session adjourned, and if I'm not mistaken, Tuesday next week we will move on to the next subjects, and I think, as we said yesterday, we will keep on doing this on a regular basis throughout the year. Instead of just having a set schedule, we'll just keep on coming up with topics, and as I said, I encourage you to please share feedback as to if there's an area of concern that you need help with. Let us do a workshop on those things. So feel free to share those with us.